And let me show you what happened. I'm white. I start out, right? King, pawn, try to control the center. He does this. Now, I make a decision here. I say, I do not want to do the whole knight thing. So I put this one up, even though the computer says I should have did the knight thing. But it always goes that way. So I want to try something new. So he puts his bishop here. Not the worst thought, but it's just to threaten this pawn because this is a weak pawn. I go ahead with my attack. I go here, even though still the computer says I should have gone here. So this is a very interesting part. He makes an incorrect calculation. In his mind, he's like, I got a bishop and a pawn attacking his pawn, but he forgets I got a queen here. So he goes ahead, he attacks. I take back, and boom, he loses a bishop. So I know very likely I'm going to be doing very well this round. So then he, in a panic, puts his pawn up to threaten my queen, which is not a good idea because there's no pieces protecting his pawn. So I just take his pawn. The computer said I should have just taken that and forked immediately. But I'll get to that, guys. I'll get to that. So he puts this pawn up, which is protected, right, to threaten my king, or queen, sorry. So I go back here, even though he says I should have gone here. I go here because now I want to fork the knight and the rook. So he moves his knight up, it develops and it attacks, right? Which is a good idea. According to the computer, he should have done that. He should have anticipated that I'm going to fork. So I go ahead, I fork, right? Attacking this and this. He moves the knight out of the way. Perfect. I take the rook and I check. So he moves the king up there and protects his knight too. And threatens me with the queen. Now at this point, I almost thought about taking his queen. I almost thought about, so I thought about going like this because already, look at how many pieces I'm up. But then I'm like, I think there's a way to potentially checkmate him. So I move my queen out of the way, don't sacrifice my queen. And then he moves his pawn up. Here I go. This right here, pinning the knight. Let's see what he does. So now he checks me. Not the worst idea, right? If you are being threatened, see if you can win a piece by checking. So I put my knight up, I develop my knight, protect my king, and the knight's being protected here. So he tries to threaten my knight, not knowing that right now he's about to get pushed hard. So I take his knight, right? Check him. He goes here. At this point, because I've studied so many endgames, I know that there's a potential checkmate. It took me a few seconds to see it. You'll see the clock down here. See, it took me about 20 seconds to see it, but eventually I pause here because I've studied a lot of endgames. I know there's a checkmate here. So eventually I put the queen there and it's checkmate because he can't go here. The queen is protecting these two. He can't go here because I got my bishop, and he can't go here because my queen. And he's got no pieces to block any of the entries. So that is how I played. I played at a 1200 rating, which I am not, right? I'm only here. So that was my quickest game ever, man. Shout out everyone who watches JerryCricket. I'm getting better, man. I promise you, I'm getting better. I know to experts, this is nothing, okay? Checkmating in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. But to me, this was a good game, man. This was a good game. I played really well. I made 0 mistakes. You could argue, guys, the only mistake I sort of made was I could have forked right here, right? When he went here, I could have forked here earlier. So I could have gone here. I wouldn't call it a mistake, but it's just a different type of tactical planning. I'm like, why not take an extra pawn? Because my thought is, maybe if I go here, something else is going to happen. I just don't know, right? You just take that piece that's in front of you that you can take. Anyways, this was JerryCricket.